Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me in Crewe, England, the home of Bentley Motors, where today they are celebrating their centenary, their 100th anniversary, with the launch of a new concept, a look towards the future in the form of the EXP 100 GT. We're going to go inside the building behind me to see the unveiling before getting an opportunity to take a first look and check it out. So let's head straight on in then and have a look at the new Bentley EXP 100 GT. How's this then for a sense of what we're going to be taking a look at any moment now? The car will be presented and we'll have an opportunity to take a look at it. But the EXP 100 GT is Bentley's vision of a car in 2035, the pinnacle of luxury, an electric autonomous vehicle with the ability to drive as well. And when it's been launched, I'm going to show you around it. We'll get to go onto the stage to have a look and go through it all. This is it then. Let me show you around Bentley's new concept, the EXP 100 GT. EXP, experimental, of course, being a concept. It's their 13th concept, following a few years ago the EXP 12 Speed 6. This though, GT, standing for Grand Tourer, and it is very much a grand touring shape, as you can see. When you come around the side, the car is huge. It's 5.8 meters long, 2.4 meters wide, very definitively Bentley as well, but introduces many technologies, sustainability elements, both in terms of the design, the materials that are used, and the way that it will be operated. We're going to go through this though, take a walk around, but just coming round towards the back, you have this swooping haunch like the old R-Type. There are signature Bentley details as you go around. You've got also some new technology mixed into that. For example, here, the 3D texturing you have of the OLED tail lamp surrounds. The interior is a very special place. We're going to explore this in a moment, but one thing you'll notice are these gigantic doors, 2 meters long in fact. They actually open up to be almost 3 meters tall. It's an electric car. We're looking at a car that will have a 700-kilometer range in total, 1,500 newton meters of torque, and that means it will go 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.5 seconds, and onto a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour, 186 miles per hour. Now around the front, you'll see the illuminated matrix grille, much larger than seen on previous production Bentley models, and also, like some of their older cars, like the Bentley Blower, you have the headlights going into the outsides of the grille as well, and it all illuminates. The idea is that the car has AI, artificial intelligence, and a personal assistant as well on the interior, with lots of clever technology. Like I said earlier, this is looking forwards about 15-16 years towards 2035 and the kind of ideas that might be possible at that time. So as you walk up to the car, it would see you coming, it would illuminate, it would wake up, it would almost become alive, with the front end of the car brightening up, the flying B that you have worn at the front as well, and then the central stripe illuminating in towards the interior, where it all awakens and comes to life. Looking around the bodywork though, you notice also, as we see actually on Bentley's production models, these sharp creases that you have to emphasize the shoulder line, using their techniques and manufacturing techniques to make all of that possible, which weren't in the past. But this electric, autonomous as an option, but also a driver's car as well, having the ability to drive itself. That's very important to Bentley. They've made their brand, of course, being famous for being driver's cars, and they want that to be the case as well going into the future. So we'll have an explore of the interior too, but I wasn't expecting a car that was so low and swooping and sleek in its style, but very much a glass house. Glass everywhere you look, for the roof, for the windscreen, for the rear, but even here, look at the techniques, look at the materials that are used. And actually, just to tell you a little bit about some of the sustainable elements of this, the exterior paintwork, Compass as it's called, actually uses a pigment that comes from rice husk, which is a byproduct of rice being produced, and that's used, obviously putting it back into a more positive nature. On the inside as well, you have wood developed in a similar way too. So we'll get the car opened up and then be able to take a look at what's going on the inside of it. The doors are of course motorized. On this car, being the show car, they will open slowly to reveal the glamour of the interior, and you will see the statement that they make, the sense of scale as they open up towards the roof that we have here, but revealing a completely futuristic interior interior, one that offers actually a number of different seating configurations. If you're driving, let's say, in fully autonomous mode, you could have it as a 2-seat configuration, pulling the seats back to open up room, to have more space around. You could have it, as we see it here, in the 3-seat configuration, or you could pull the passenger seat forward as well and have a 4-seat option available. Look around, simplicity, but also looking to the future in the way it's shaped, the way it's styled. Just have a look at this. Have a look at the glass house over the top. How much you can see, how open it is, how relaxing it would be if you were in this car going for, say, a grand tour. Now, I referred to some of the elements on the interior. You've got the use of copper, of aluminium. You also have 5,000-year-old copper-infused riverwood for some of the wooden elements inside too, to go along with that compass paintwork on the exterior. And even the materials that are used are actually made, it's an organic textured material that's like leather, but made from winemaking. And you can see the way they've stitched it and used some fairly bespoke embroideries as well on the interior. But all of the kind of jewelry, we could say, all very much brightening up, lightening up. This is a concept, this is a car that is alive, and in addition to that, it has this personal assistant. So the car would know when you're inside it, it would be reading, checking your health, checking sure that you're comfortable, and adjusting all of the settings accordingly. And it actually has a series of different personal assistance modes. So enhance, cocoon, capture, relive, and customize. Enhance, and all of these things actually basically adjusting as you go. So the car would know, it would be recording, taking in the environment, taking in where you are, monitoring smells, sounds, appearance, the general style of the road you're on, and it could go back to that and reload that. So let's say you're driving through a city centre on a miserable day, you could reload that drive when you were out having a wonderful time on a nice cruising road through the mountains to re-immerse yourself back in that experience, all controlled through the personal assistant. Inside, to show you a little bit more, the car can adjust to the driven position, so it would move the steering column, it would move the pedal box, it would adjust the seat and make it all, of course, in the position to actually drive yourself rather than being in the autonomous mode. It also has the option to make all of the glass go opaque, so it would cocoon you. That's the cocoon mode, basically putting yourself into a quiet land of leisure with sound cancellation, noise cancellation technologies as well, recording what's going on in the exterior and transposing that to the interior. You can see here the steering wheel actually tucking itself back in, sliding forwards, taking it out of reach, making it or turning it into autonomous mode. But you could talk to the car, you could engage with the car, have a quick look around. You can see the glasses that are in here as well. Everything, all the materials, high focus on the materials, where they're being sourced, what's being used, and how all of that is actually being incorporated into this concept that we're looking at. The Bentley EXP 100 GT there on the side sill, but also looking around, you can see a little bit in terms of how airflow comes around the car. Focus on the dashboard, you can see the way you've got the C almost going around each section, the driver's side and the passenger's side, the doors hinging straight upwards, opening high and proud. And while that might not be the most practical thing in the world in terms of parking in an underground garage, it's certainly very impressive to take a look at it as it's presented here. Then towards the rear, Bentley 100 extraordinary years. They're saying the next 100 years will be just as extraordinary, if not more so. And I think this will potentially might give us some insight into perhaps what we're going to see in the next generation of Bentley's ultimate in luxury, the new Mulsanne, when that arrives in a couple of years' time down the line. Maybe we'll see some of these features in terms of the design, in terms of the pieces that you could see more in the current day. The chrome strip running across the back, the tail light style that we have back here, the chrome pieces down towards the back of the diffuser and the way it swoops right down towards that very back end of the car. The wheels, of course, designed for efficiency. By having them shaped like this, it optimizes efficiency and helps the car achieve some of those performance numbers. And they're saying that it would be able to charge 80% in just 15 minutes. So you get 80% of your 700 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes of charge. So this is very much focusing on where things can go for Bentley, still being a driver's car, still being something very exciting, but of course using ideas at the time. And who knows where the future is going to take us. I certainly hope it will be like this. So we'll still have the opportunity to be able to drive, to be able to take the wheel ourselves. This front grille as well, maybe we'll be seeing the enlarged style grille sitting much taller, much wider, taking up much more of the front of the car. But this is where it gives you this light show almost, to bring the car into life, to show you that it's a living, breathing thing, that it knows what you're doing and it knows what you want. And when you come up to it, you would take a seat inside and it would already know what kind of drive you would want. And that's another element. Wherever you were in the world, the car would know your preferred settings, your preferred preferred configurations, and it would be able to incorporate that into the vehicle that you're then driving. So you could go, let's say, from the UK, from Crewe, all the way to California, to Los Angeles, jump inside a Bentley, and it would immediately have the car set up to your desires, exactly how you would like to have it. That, I would definitely say, is something quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually translates and how we can use these and how we can use that technology as well, and how Bentley will make it all possible. Around the back here, the car has an air purification system. It also has the ability to replicate smells, but this is all in the rear, being piped, of course, around through various bits towards the air vents that you would find in the front, but also through these pieces inside the rear on the parcel shelf that raise up. Actually, they're raising right now, so you can see how that works. And that actually would give the car the ability to remember and replay smells, positive or negative, but probably you would use it mostly for positive. You could put yourself into a lovely countryside, sunny day in the countryside, the smells of autumn, whatever it may be, and you do actually get a very autumnal sense from the car with the paintwork and the accents that you have from the copper and aluminium around the exterior. But certainly an impressive thing to behold, a huge thing to behold, 5.8 meters in length, nearly 6 meters long for this car that we're looking at here, the EXP 100 GT. But this is more or less it then for our first look today at Bentley's latest concept, a car they're very proud of, understandably so, looking towards sustainability, looking towards the future, but also incorporating the element that not too many manufacturers do, which is one of still trying to appeal to drivers. A car that can be driven autonomously. Let's say you're going to a meeting in the city, or if you're out on a nice road, a mountain pass, you can put it into the self-drive mode and take the wheel as well and build up those memories, build up those adventures, and then save them for the car to replay back to you again in future. Of course, there are many things I haven't been able to touch on, just scratching on the very surface of this, but I expect we're going to see these design elements at the front and the rear making their way into future Bentley models to come in the next few years as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that translates. In any case, this is a very, very exciting product, a very exciting concept, and what a fantastic opportunity to come today to have a look and to be able to explore it in detail, to come up close and take a look at this and take in some of their new technology and some of their direction for where things are going to go from here. So I hope you've enjoyed this first look at the car. A huge thanks to Bentley for the opportunity. I think I'm more or less going to bring things to a close there. Thank you as always for your support, guys. I appreciate it an awful lot, but that's it for this time. I will see you again very, very soon. Cheers.